Like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below. This morning, early Thursday, the government and the CCSA have released new figures for a 24-hour period. 14,956 new cases reported. This, as 17,936 recoveries were also reported in the same period. Those are folks who had COVID, have recovered and been released from quarantine. In the past 24 hours, 262 deaths have been reported associated with the virus. As ministers continue to be questioned in Parliament after a call for a vote of no confidence, which will without doubt fail, so Minister Anutin stated yesterday that in his opinion, Sinovac appeared to be at the time a good vaccine, but admitted that it was far from effective against the Indian variant. Claiming that the supply of vaccines here was both open and transparent, he later went on to state that by the end of the year, the country will have received over 140 million vaccines, more than enough for every person in Thailand to get 2 shots. Throwing his weight behind the third or booster vaccine program, which is now being carried out in most Western countries too, the real goal is 70% of the population to have been vaccinated twice by the end of the year. The Education Commission plans to take action against 2 international schools in the capital. The first for employing 6 non-Thai teachers who were working without work permits and found on the premises, and the second for a school registered as a kindergarten but allegedly offering higher education as pupils got older without extending their licence. International schools employing staff without work permits are certainly in the crosshairs of the Education Ministry. After all, they could apply for work permits easily, as they have the right number of staff. Parents are being advised to report any teaching staff that they think may not have the required documentation or skills to teach. Police Colonel Titisan, better known as Joe Ferrari, and his cohorts, currently held in a Pitsanulok jail as they await processing in the case, which saw interrogation measures, including putting plastic bags over an arrestee's head resulting in his death, will all be moved to a Bangkok jail this week. This to assist in the investigation, which is being carried out by the CSD, based in the capital. It's believed they'll all be housed in the remand prison, and all are accused of multiple charges including murder of a drug suspect. The Department of Special Investigation has called on foreign investors to register with them if they invested in what's been described as a fraudulent property development project in Chonburi. The DSI Director General is quoted in Thai media as saying that New Nordic Development lured people into investing in the project, covering a massive amount of land, but it turns out that most of that land is actually, according to them, in a national forest reserve. He went on to state that many had lost money on the so-called investment, which once again had been offering a high rate of return with the promise of hotels, condos, houses and private parks being built. None of that transpired, and this is yet another nail in the box for the beleaguered New Nordic Group, which has declared insolvency here in Pattaya and ceased paying investors in any of its projects, while it's expected to see its application for bankruptcy protection considered by courts this month. With many who've lost money, 3.5 billion baht in total, claiming that it was all a Ponzi scheme, the foreign controllers of the companies have for the most part long since left these shores, and the Thai staff are left to fend for the employees and at the same time work to maintain the properties completed here in the city, but of course now empty. The Sandbox baby, Phuket Island, is seeing a surge of COVID cases, much to the displeasure of the governor, who'd already banned incomers from within Thailand until recently. Despite claims of herd immunity amongst locals and visitors being fully tested, the island is seeing over 200 cases daily, with 258 yesterday, resulting in tour companies asking the authorities to react quickly to avoid a slowdown of potential tourists. Golf widows were probably hailing one Chonburi wife who, frustrated that her husband had organised a game for friends prior to courses being allowed to open, called the police and reported him. Obviously in a loving and caring relationship, he's now got to go to court, as he's been duly charged, and there's no word on where he now parks his clubs or balls. Meanwhile, in our own region, this morning the province has reported 881 new cases of the virus within a 24-hour period, likely to have been 2 days ago, seeing Chonburi report 146, Sirachar once again at the top with 284, Banglamung, including Pattaya, 122, Satahip 47 and the balance around the province. In the past 24 hours, 4 deaths have been attributed to the virus. Pattaya's mayor confirmed yesterday that by the end of October, 70% of those who are registered as living in the city area would have received at least one vaccination, with most having both by the end of the year. Following the latest delivery of 60,000 doses of Sinopharm, not Sinovac, some 2,000 people a day are being vaccinated, and the programme continues today at the indoor sports stadium. One issue for City Hall is the supply of vaccines to Thai residents who are not registered in the city, and that's done via house books, in some cases not even in existence for rented rooms. But we're assured the city is well aware of the total population here and is working to include all in the programme. The mayor has also asked community leaders and village heads to caringly encourage those reluctant to have the vaccines to go ahead and get them. Once the region achieves its goals, the Pattaya Move On plan could fully get into gear and see perhaps entertainment businesses allowed to reopen for visitors. 18 people, Thai and Lao citizens, were nabbed at a party in the Pong area by Maprachan Lake after reports from neighbours. The party, which took place earlier in the week, saw all arrested and held at Nong Pru police station. Most failed drug testing, and in addition to booze, a supply of drugs was also seized by the police. The host claimed that he'd had COVID a few months ago, so felt it was okay to have a party. That didn't wash, and the reminder remains that while social gatherings are now allowed in larger numbers, boozy parties aren't, and certainly not when it includes drug use. And with the Met Office promising storms continuing in our region today, and highs of just 30 degrees dropping down to 27 in an overcast day. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme,